Meyer, I was so floored for you to get nominated. Congratulations on the nomination. Um, I would have to do some research, but I feel like you're one of the first in a very long time of Student Academy Awards to get nominated. So that's why I was so excited for you. So thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I had read that this was based, correct me if I'm wrong, based off of a personal experience. Um, I guess I wanted to know in a general sense, when was the point where you decided that you needed to make this into a film?
I think that my writing process is a little weird.
Okay.
Uh, I start from an idea,
Okay.
and then I kind of like build that idea out, and then usually I change ideas at least like 10 times
Mm,
before I finally get to the idea that I want to do. Like drafts turn into something totally different. Like I
okay.
just, I just, I think that in a lot of ways the writing picks me, and I don't
Mm,
pick the writing,
okay.
uh, because I think that writing has its ways of um, like I let the writing have the steering wheel. So I think that I had that year I had a totally different idea,
Mm,
film that I was working on, and I was kind of had like a dead end with that idea. And so I ended up, I ended up changing it last minute. So it was like a week before we were supposed to hand in the scripts
mm,
at school, and I was like, I need to do something else. Like this isn't working.
okay.
So I changed the whole idea. I did this, and that script is close to the script that I ended up doing. So it in a lot of weird ways. Sometimes like you get an idea and then like because it's a good idea, it just takes a very short amount of time. And it's just there are no rules to the way that my writing process works. But to your question, it is an experience
Hmm.
that I witnessed. Um, it after the 7th of October, working at the supermarket, it was very tense. There was a lot of tension between the Arab workers and the Jewish workers, and it just felt like the workers were very suspicious of the Arab workers at all
Mm,
times. There were eyes on them at all times. They were talking about them. They felt like because of what happened, it was okay to be afraid of them, and it was okay to um, be suspicious of them and talk behind their backs about maybe the fact that they're dangerous.
hmm.
And I just felt like there was something wrong with that. But I felt like it was also complicated because in a lot of ways, a lot of people there had lost family members to the attacks,
Hmm.
and knew people who were involved with what happened and died. And I just felt like I really wanted to tell those two stories at the same time. I wanted to tell the story of collective trauma
Hmm.
and collective trauma at national crisis. And I also wanted to tell the story about how that can turn into racism and discrimination towards a certain group of people, which we know through history to have happened multiple times, even in recent history.
Yeah.
9/11 and Muslims and um, the coronavirus and
Hmm.
Asians. So it's an important story to tell because
Yeah.
not a part of that group of people, you just don't know that that's happening. It's like it goes totally under the radar because everyone is busy with the national crisis and with the collective trauma.
Yeah.
No one actually sees what's happening to that group.
Yeah, I wanted to say one of the things that I really responded to, especially on a rewatch, because I knew like where the story was going, was I really appreciated how there is a real sense of what's the right word here? There was a real sense of uh, paranoia and tension, and the way that you string it through in very many different ways. Like there's a tension even when we see Samir, calculating his finances of like what's going to happen if he doesn't have this job. Like how is he going to support himself? There's tension there, and that tension feels completely different from say, you know, him spying on somebody who we end up seeing is stealing stuff from the break room. So something that I liked a lot, especially again on like I said on a rewatch, is that it's just um there's like these scenes have these like really big like almost silent builds within them, and we sort of go on these like little I'll say arcs, but obviously, but I mean it's just I don't know. There are these like tiny little rides that you keep taking us on in this like larger, obviously very troubling situation that's happening. It's kind of crazy how you balance like the intimacy of a personal crisis at the backdrop of this historical thing that we all are familiar with. I'm just rambling now. Don't mind me. I'm just just yeah. Something I did want to ask about, and I'm sorry, I keep saying on a rewatch, on a rewatch. Um, Hearing the characters talk about the air conditioner, I was really impressed in you how you kind of like drop that in there at the sort of like through the midway point when I think Mihal was talking about it, and then it gets brought up again. Was bringing that up about the air conditioner sort of a difficult place to figure out where to put that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, I love that stuff. I love I'm originally like an Agatha Christie fan, so
Okay,
I studied that for a while. I
great.
love incorporating stuff that has to do with mysteries into my script. And so I know that you have to kind of start from the end and then track back and then see
Hmm.
what you can do. But I feel like talking about the air conditioner is a very natural thing in Israel. It's always broken. Like
Really?
always.
Okay.
They're always broken. It's horrible. And they make so much noise and they're like they smell bad. It's like it's always something with the air conditioner.
Mm,
So talking about the air conditioner was natural to all the actors. And definitely, fit into the way that the supermarket works, where things are broken all the time,
mhm,
especially in the break room for the employees. The break room for employees in a supermarket is like one of the most dimly lit, dirty, gross
mhm.
places. Like nobody cares about the fact that they'd be actually comfortable in that room.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's also part of the story. It's not only it's also about the whole conflict that's been going on, but it's also about what it's like to be an employee at minimum wage in a place like that. In a place like that,
Mhm,
like that. That for me is a very intriguing experience because something about it is very dark. Coming to work every day for 10 hours, getting whatever it is, maybe $90,
mhm,
uh, and, you know, going home and then doing it again. And then you don't have even like the minimal amount of respect in terms of like the break room doesn't look good.
mhm.
Um, nothing, it just seems not fair in general.
Yeah, the when the boss says, it's hard to find a butcher, on such short notice that will work for minimum wage. I really thought about it. I was like, that man is on his feet all day, bent down doing this type of work, minimum wage for that long. That seemed real shitty. That stuck out to me a lot too, when I saw it again.
Yeah.
Um, I did want to ask about a moment that is towards the beginning in the accusation scene. I really responded to. Mihal is telling him what she has heard or the accusation itself. And I think I misremembered it from the first time that I watched it, that I assumed Samir says something right away, but there is like a moment of silence before he even says, "Why would I do this?" His voice sounds like it like almost drops down an octave. And I guess I wanted to know if you could tell me anything about that moment specifically, because it obviously sets the tone for the rest of the film. But I was, for some reason, the silence stuck out to me, and I was wondering if you could tell me anything about that moment.
So that is a scene that is inspired partly by The Master. Have you seen The Master with?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he has this scene where Philip Seymour Hoffman is like um, sort of doing this like weird therapy session with Joaquin Phoenix on a
Hmm.
boat that Joaquin Phoenix wakes up on. So it has this sort of shot reverse that's like super, super intense, and there's not a lot of shots. It's very minimal, and it's just the reactions. So
Mm.
I feel like that would be like the most powerful. That would be like the most powerful way of like creating a scene like that, because instead of so this is an idea actually I got from the actor when he came for the audition. He was like, I was thinking like he needs to do the scene where he's angry at her,
Yeah.
where he's like, why are you doing this to me? Like you have no proof. This doesn't make any sense. Like what's going on?
Hmm.
Instead, he did it where he was deeply offended, where his heart was broken from the fact that somebody he knows that works with him suddenly is accusing him of doing this horrible act. So when he did that, I realized that this was in terms of like the way that you shoot it and the way that it's acted, I realized that it was like almost like a breakup scene. Uh,
Mm.
that's the way that I
Wow.
directed it. I directed it as a breakup scene. I directed it as like someone who gets the shock suddenly of the fact that like they're being broken up with and then like the heartbreak, you know? And
Yeah.
then that's how you kind of react. You don't react in this way of like immediately arguing back. You're like, I'm even heartbroken that you're saying this.
Mm. Okay, because that even, oh, that changes. Oh wow, that's really interesting. Because even at the end, um, there are many different things that could be, put into this. He says, "I'm in pain," and that is something that stuck with me a lot every time that I've seen it because it just felt like um these kind of situations, you're accused of something or people have an opinion about you. I feel like you don't kind of hear that laid bare truth telling from somebody who is being like accused of something. So you saying that it's that scene was really steeped in kind of heartbreak, that makes total sense. That's awesome. I love that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something that I worked on with the actor a lot. And yeah, I just thought it brought a little like a new kind of style of acting to the
Mm,
genre of, movies about racism. I really wanted to, bring that personal aspect of it. Like how does being discriminated against affect you personally?
mm,
Like what does that do to you, to your personal life, to the way that you feel? Like, and that's above the political level of it, because people aren't politics at all.
mm,
People are just people. Like that, Samir is just a guy going into work, cutting meat all day to have enough money to see his kid who lives far away from him, uh, with his divorced wife.
mm,
Like he needs money. He just wants to be loved. He just wants to be respected.
mm,
And that's really what this film is about. It's about taking it to that personal level so that a person watching it, even if they don't agree with the message of the film or don't agree with what Samir posts on Instagram or whatever,
Yeah.
can at least say, listen, this isn't fair, and I can empathize with him or sympathize with him personally, because he has a family and he just wants to get money to do his job, and those are the same things that I need.
Hmm. I'm glad that you actually, after we see what happens at the market, I'm glad that you take it to like a familial level, like we come back to the family. I have to say one of my favorite shots that is in the film is right before he leaves. And I think every single coworker that we have seen throughout the film is in one shot. And they're all staring back at him. I love that shot so much. And then you cut to individuals um looking at him in that moment. But I have to say the shot at the end, it's completely like silent. He's just spending time with his son. And the way that the camera pans back is so effective. And it's I don't know, there's something about thinking of that image versus the not versus, but accompanied with the image of when he realizes what is taking down the posters, the silence there. I kept thinking together, like you can hear the rustling of the paper as it falls down. You can hear the air conditioner going. That's not really a question. I'm just telling you what I like, what I like about the movie. So, yeah. Um, okay. Thank you so much for your time. I like the movie a lot. I've shown it to a couple of people, and one of my friends, he's a newer friend. He's his family is from Palestine, and he was sitting very we watched it together, and he was sitting very attentively watching this movie. It was before the nominations came out, and I was just happened to watching some stuff on the short list, and he was telling me how much he enjoyed your film. Um,
Wow, that
so
means so much.
yeah, um, congratulations again. I want to go back and watch it now and think of it as a breakup scene. That's such an amazing point. So I can't wait to watch it again. So thank you so much for your time. Congratulations and good luck. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you for this. This is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. All right. Bye.